Are you desiring more out of life? More love, more connection, more experience, just more aliveness? Well, that is your soul calling you, and together we are going to uncover those soul desires and help you bridge the gap between your physical life and your true soul self. Welcome to the Suddenly Spiritual Podcast. My name is Emilee. I'm an intuitive, a psychic medium, and someone who recently and very suddenly awakened to spirituality. On this podcast, we are going to talk all about connecting with your soul to live your fullest, most beautiful life. We're going to talk about spirituality from the perspective of the everyday person. It's my goal that you feel seen and supported on this journey of discovering your soul and awakening to the incredible world of spirit. Let's get started. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Suddenly Spiritual Podcast. It's me, Emilee, your host. I'm happy to be here with you for another week. This summer, the podcast is a bit sporadic. I'm hopping in whenever I have a few minutes to record an episode, and today I have a little bit of time while my girls are sleeping and my son is playing, that I have some quiet time and I can record an episode for you. And it just so happens I have something I want to say. So it all lines up perfectly. I hope you're having an amazing summer. We are spending our time at the beach much more than usual, which has been so nice, and just really enjoying being together. I've kind of decided that this summer I'm not going to put too much stress on moving forward in my business, moving forward in the podcast, moving forward in all of that. And instead, the summer is going to be mostly majorly focused on my family and the special time that we get to create together. And it's been really great for me to slow down a little bit. So, what I want to talk to you about today is I want to talk to you about the fact that maybe life is not supposed to be easy. Maybe it's not supposed to be easy. Maybe the desire for an easy life is not really all it's chalked up to be. And the reason that I want to talk to you about this is because when I first started down this path of spirituality, all that I constantly heard was this message that you'll know a decision is right if it feels good. You'll know your life is on the right path if things feel easy, if things are going smooth, if everything flows. That those are all signs that your life is on the right path and that you are moving toward your purpose. You're moving toward who you are meant to be. And I believed that wholeheartedly. Who wouldn't want to believe that, right? We all want an easy life. At least I thought so. And so, with that belief really deep in me, I mean, once I heard it, I was like, oh, hell yeah, my life is supposed to be easy. I love that. Let's do that, please. Because at the time, my life was pretty stressful. So, I dove into that belief wholeheartedly, and my life started rearranging through my actions, through my intentions. My life started rearranging to become much, much easier, much, much more slower. My life became, for sure, full of so much ease. And it definitely helped me to be a less stressful person. It is definitely more pleasant than the absolute chaos that my life felt like before. However, as my life became more and more about ease, more and more about protecting my peace, well, it got kind of boring. And I've slowly, over the last several months, started to realize that I don't actually want a life of ease. I I thought I did because that's what I heard I was supposed to have. That's what I heard was the goal. And it sounded amazing. Who doesn't want an easy life? But the problems I ran into with that is that I took having an easy life to mean that there was no challenges, there were no stresses, there was no conflict, there was no nothing like rubbing up against me, making me feel uncomfortable. There was nothing pushing me. Anytime something felt uncomfortable, I cut it out of my life. Anytime something felt difficult, I thought, well, my life is supposed to be easy. So this must be the universe telling me I shouldn't pursue this because it's difficult. And I really lived my life that way for the last couple of years, really avoiding things that felt too difficult because I thought that was a sign that I was not in alignment with who I'm supposed to be. I'm kind of shifting gears on that belief a little bit, especially more recently, as I realized that while making my life really easy by eliminating all challenges and all struggles and all things that would put stress into my life has actually made me feel very stagnant and bored. It has made me feel bored, a little bored with my life. I'm like, where's the excitement? Where's the adventure? Where's the spots where I can overcome, where I can grow? And what I've realized is that what I was doing is pulling myself way far back from my life in connection with other people, from my humanity, because I especially have found relationships to be difficult. And so I have really pulled back from so many relationships, and it has left me feeling a bit lonely. It's left me feeling isolated and, frankly, bored because there's no challenge and no opportunities for growth. And so I wanted to talk about this because I think that this is a common teaching in the spiritual community. And maybe I misunderstood it. Maybe I interpreted it wrong. But my belief around it has most certainly changed. I don't think that we are meant to have an easy life. I don't think any of us are meant to have an easy life. I think our life is supposed to feel good most of the time, probably at least half of the time, I'd say, most of the time, if we're lucky. But we're also meant to have challenges. We're also meant to have to overcome. We're also meant to have to do things that we don't want to do. We're meant to be challenged. We're meant to face conflict. And the reason that we are meant to face these things is because those are the only opportunities for growth. You cannot grow as a person, as a soul, if you're never challenged. And I had built my life to be something pretty easy. There's still challenges in my life, but overall, I'd really kicked out of my life anything that felt too challenging or too uncomfortable. I'd really kind of closed myself off so that life felt easy for me and comfortable all the time. And I realized that in doing that, I was cutting myself off from opportunities to grow, opportunities to evolve, opportunities to change, and opportunities to know myself better. Even like I wasn't interested in trying new things. Like I talked about in a recent episode, I started going to the gym more recently. Well, for a long time, I would not go to the gym because I'm like, no, it's going to mess with the schedule for naps. It's going to be challenging to take my kids to childcare. It's going to be uncomfortable because I don't know what to do. I don't know if I want to go to these classes at the gym. I don't know what to do. And so, because it seemed too difficult, I just said, no, I'm not going to do it. I just kept myself small. And I kept myself from that opportunity of meeting new people, of having a healthier body, of experiencing new things, of trying new things, of learning how strong I could be, of giving my kids opportunities to be independent and to interact with other children. Because it all seemed too hard. But as you can see, like going to the gym, that's such a good example because there is so much physical growth you can do at the gym. And I was cutting myself off from opportunities for growth in all areas of my life by trying to protect my peace constantly, by constantly trying to protect my sense of ease in life. And I think this is something that we can all fall into. And maybe you can relate to this story Another thing that I really took to heart that I started hearing a lot and learning, not just in the spiritual community, but in the like self help community, the self love talk, all that kind of stuff was all about boundaries. People love to talk about boundaries. And one of the things they like to say about boundaries is to tell people no more often, to say no more often. Well, if you say no all the time, you never have an opportunity to learn something new about yourself, to try something new, to stretch yourself, to be challenged. And so I think in my case, I took all of this way too far. This need for ease, this need to protect my peace, this need to say no to things. There's like a teaching that goes around that everybody says, who knows who said it the first time, where people will say, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And so if you hear something or someone offers you to do something or whatever, and your immediate response is not hell yes, that means that you should say no. I just don't believe in that anymore. I really don't. Because I was abiding by that and my life became so small. I don't think any of us are meant to have small lives. I don't think any of us are meant to have lives where we're closed off from everyone else because we are so afraid of our peace being disrupted. We're so afraid that if we say yes to the wrong thing, then we won't be in alignment with our soul. We won't live out our purpose. But what I am realizing so much lately is that on top of all of that, we're just people. We're human. We have this incredible soul, this incredible spirit within us. But we came here, this soul came here to experience being human, to experience humanity. Part of that, a major part of that, is the connection we get to experience with other people, is the growth we get to experience, the opportunities, the change, the transformation, the really like learning about yourself and sometimes really surprising yourself. You don't get that experience if you don't say yes. You have to say yes sometimes. And I don't think it has to be a hell yes. Obviously, you don't run yourself down by saying yes to things that you're going to hate and be resentful about. But you also have to be open enough to say yes sometimes, to say yes to opportunities that you might be uncomfortable with, but maybe you're just uncomfortable because it's new, not because it's wrong for you. And I think maybe that is the distinction that I really want to make is if you're following all of this advice about protecting your peace, about saying no more often, about guarding your boundaries, protecting your boundaries, all of that is that when you're met with an opportunity, with a decision, with a choice for something to do, something to pursue, is to ask yourself, am I avoiding this because I don't want to do it and it's not for me? Okay, if it's not for you, then don't do it. But maybe you're avoiding it just because you're a little uncomfortable, because it's stretching you, because it's just something you haven't experienced before. And just because you haven't experienced it before doesn't mean it's not for you. It just means it's new. It's an opportunity for growth. And then there's always something that I have to remind myself all the time, and that's that nothing is forever. None of these decisions that we make here on earth as people, none of them are forever. And you can say yes today and no tomorrow. You can try something out and then never do it again, or you can do it every day for the rest of your life. You get to choose that. You don't have to commit to anything forever. So, anyways, this rambly, very quick episode, I hope that it has made sense to you and maybe given you a little bit to think about when it comes to believing how your life is supposed to be. I thought I was done, but I have one last point. One last point I want to make about this idea that life is not supposed to be easy. When I thought that my life was supposed to be easy all the time, I felt like something was wrong with me, wrong with my life whenever a challenge came up. I would think, okay, my life does not feel easy right now. So there must be something wrong with how I'm being, how I'm approaching things in life. I must be doing something wrong. I must not be living in alignment like all of these spiritual gurus tell me I should be in alignment with my soul. And I must be out of alignment. I must have done something wrong. And that's just not the case. If you start to accept and understand that your life is not supposed to be easy all the time, you can have a lot more compassion for yourself as you move through times in your life that are challenging. And you also may even find yourself willing to invite in challenging experiences because you want the growth that will come from them. If you stay your whole life only doing what's easy, I just think you'll only get to experience such a small fraction of what you are capable of accomplishing, of what you are capable of achieving in this lifetime if you only follow that easy path. But when you are brave enough to invite in challenges because you want that growth that's on the other side, you want that accomplishment on the other side, you want to see who you become on the other side, then that's incredible. Having the awareness that life is not meant to be easy all the time can help you invite in those challenges so that you can continue forward toward the incredible growth that your soul came here for. So now I'm wrapping up my rambly 15 minutes of talking about how sometimes life is hard, but that's okay. It's supposed to be. And the reason it's supposed to be is because you're being given the most incredible opportunity to grow, evolve, change, and it is the challenge that your soul has asked for. And aren't you so lucky that you get to experience it? Okay. I hope that's helpful for you. I'll pop in sometime soon again with another episode. I'm sending you so much love. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Suddenly Spiritual podcast. I'm so grateful that I get to be part of your journey of spiritual expansion. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave a review for me on Apple Podcasts. It's a quick, free, easy way for you to support this podcast, and it helps me reach more people who are looking for support on their spiritual journey. You can find a link to leave a review in the show notes. Thank you so much, and I'll chat with you soon.